kgang ya gender-based violence ke kgang e thata, ke kgang e thata. Kgang tse di thata gantsi di batla batho ba di pelokgale. Ha o se pelokgale ga ona go pasa, ke kgang e thata. Gender-based violence is a scourge, it's a pandemic, it's a serious crisis in South Africa, in Africa, in the world. Its origin and its sustenance, it's the asymmetrical power relations between men and women. And there are victims and beneficiaries in terms of these power relations. And without us conceptualizing the real cause of this scourge, it will be difficult for us to uproot it. We have to appreciate what is the cause of this scourge. And then we'll develop better strategies to confront it, to deal with it, even to eliminate it from society. Patriarchy, and we're talking here about negative patriarchy, where men are regarded as, where women are regarded as minors. It's one of those factors that feed this gender-based violence. And we have to understand that gender-based violence, because it resides in inequality that exists between men and women, we'll find it to be structural. We'll find it to be existing in institutions, in organizations, organizations, structures, institutions like the home, where we still refer to men as the head of the family, and the man is accorded some special privileges and some powers because of the title. It occurs in our churches. In our churches we go and we say, men must sit this side and women must sit this side. And it's normal, it's okay. Why do we have to do that? God wants us to be in separate pews, in separate seats, men and women. And in some churches it's still the rule that women cannot enter priesthood. It's normal, it's all right, it's okay. Women cannot enter priesthood, so God will only listen to men. It happens in schools. In that primary school where you all come from, only boys can play soccer. You all come from that, and some of you are teachers and training these young boys and young girls. In school it's happening. It's being reinforced there. People are trained there to regard each other as different. That you have different abilities on the basis of something that has got nothing to do with that abilities that is required. The sex of a person. It happens in the job situation, where you'll find that the supervisors invariably, you may find a few exceptions here and there, where the supervisors who are supervising men are women. But in the majority of cases, it's men. And we live with it. We live with it and we do it. And we support it and we promote it. Some organizations will make a commitment and they will talk about gender balance. But when expediency enters the door, they forget about that commitment to gender balance. It should be 50-50. But when other factors are taken into account, the 50-50, its implementation of the 50-50 principle is postponed. So it's happening. So we are all complicit. We are all, just like, where is the priest? He said, we are all complicit. We are doing it, we are promoting it, we are encouraging it. And sometimes we are even rewarding it when it happens. So it's a real big challenge. It will never happen. It will never happen that your oppressor just willingly frees you. It has not happened anywhere. Whether you talk about slavery, it will never happen. Whether you talk about colonialism, apartheid, no oppressor will ever free the one that is oppressed freely. So you need confrontation, serious confrontation. And I hear here, as I'm seated there, I hear that many of us are saying, government must tell us which NGOs they are funding. We are not getting money. We are not. Maybe it's a good thing for me to be here and listen to these complaints. But I don't think it's a right strategy to wait for a forum like this and come and deposit your complaints here. Maybe it will help. I heard you. But you have to live this struggle. On a daily basis, raise your complaints. Raise your complaints. If you are knocking on the door and the door cannot be opened, break it down and get entry. Raise your issues. As women, we have to raise our issues. I hear this and I subscribe to it, though theoretically it gives me problems to say men must lead. But men are beneficiaries of these unequal relations. Beneficiaries. These unequal, they are beneficiaries. Now, how do you tell a beneficiary to lead in the elimination of a system that benefits him? Men are the perpetrators. Now, how do you just tell perpetrator you must leave? Yes, let's make them aware. Let's do awareness. Let's involve them. But I want to underline this point. Women are the ones that are oppressed. They must free themselves. They are the ones that are oppressed. And they have to fight. They have sometimes to scream. Sometimes they have to be unreasonable. They must be unreasonable. When they put their demands to government, they must shout, say, we want it now. We want it to be done. The history of all struggles, the history of all struggle has been history of speaking nicely. If you take the history of organizations here in South Africa, when that organization was formed in 1912, it started by pleading, please, please, you white people, you have the right to vote. Extend that right to us, please. They sent petitions. They sent delegations. Please. And then they realized this is not working. And then they upped the ante. They started marching and engaging in demonstrations, posters, placards, all over, marching and saying, we want our rights. And then when even this, which appeared to be more radical than the previous method of petitions and delegations, was not working, they decided, now we are going to fight. And fight they did. And it took, of course, some decades, but freedom was won. So I want to underline the point. No one will bring your destiny to you. It doesn't happen that way. That you must sit here and I bring something in a person. Here's your destiny, take it. No. You work for your destiny. You work for your destiny. And I want to say, I heard what you said, but I would like to see a more, I hear when she speaks here, she sounds more like an activist. Activist, your definition of an activist, somebody who lives that, who sleeps that, who does that all the time. This is what defines her. When you see her, you say, this is the person fighting gender-based violence. We need NGOs that are like that. We don't need your, what do you say about your laptop? You don't need your laptop. You see, your laptop does not have a bag. We don't need that. We need more activism. And I have here statistics, and I have departed from this prepared speech. Because as I'm listening here, I'm just saying, I hear people who are not happy. I hear people who are complaining. But I want to hear people who are like her. You know, she said a few things here that didn't sit well with me. But this is how it should be. When I listen to her, and OC Kimakanauli, Arobata Hobona, who did audit the NGO to the Krilimaj, who will lawyer Namaseko. But I can put a Jan has now Hobona audit the NGO to the Krilimaj, who did Rakayor, Kingas Arobata or NGO Yakakwe Kriamadi. Yan who did the NGO to the Kingasar Obata Hore, the NGO to Northwest the Kriamadi, the Bereke. Kingasar Obata who auditor performance at your Hadisa Bereke, added to say or the Bereke. Added to say or the Bereke. So, nationally, the figures are we are spending 1.7 billion. 1.7 billion in businesses that empower women. Northwest, I may not know all of them, but I know some. Thank you. I know some. I may not know all those people who benefited from the 1.7 billion. But this is happening. And so if you are in this area, you must be in touch with this information. You must demand it. You must get it. So I want to conclude by saying that I heard you clearly. I think I will spend more time with social development because they have here a number of NGOs. NGOs, the CBOC, Mojaremo financially healing. Lobanile Bukai. Aring Mawele like you Munku. The NGO involved in gender-based violence. 12 million. It's a paltry figure, man. It's paltry. 12 million was allocated. Arleke. Everybody mawelela mainstreaming. Ya gender mo government thing samaja. Gender mainstreaming. Mo government o tari samaja. Ebo bwesi nkibatiba huku. Oke chari tudi lankayon.
Santlha ke batla go amogela gore special programs ke nngwe ya di program tse leng gore ga di a fiwa budget e enough for go implementa. Mo ngwageng o simologileng wa last year e rile ga go tswa policy ene e gatella gore tshwantse re mainstream gender based budgeting and planning ka re molao o kwana no re tsenya mo mogotleng re kgonne gore mafapha a dira gore di plan tsa bona tse ba di implementang di ne responsive to gender mainstreaming. So in terms of amount or allocation ga re se re toto gore ke bokae mara ra itse gore mo ngwageng o wa 22-23 o felang gona yaanong mahapha otlhe a committee le gore ba tlile go supporta gender mainstreaming ba buile gore ka tsela e ntseng yang. So ke ra gore ra simolla yaanong as puso go tota gore gender mainstreaming e nna part ya di plan tsa di department ebile go na le di commitments le madi a ba beelang go thoko ka bokhutshwaneng ka ya raba yalo.
Ona madi a re utlwe masego di kae di center di mo mafelong a di center tse bathong ba yang go tsone ha ba le di victims tsa gender based violence mo Northwest di center tseo di kae a di a bereka.
Thank you very much, Honorable Premier. In Ngakamudri Mlema, we have a center in Ratlo, Home of Hope, Disobota, Tucson and Trauma Center, Disobota, Fountain of Hope, Ramotsirimuilwa, Dirisana Information and Caregivers, so I in the Retabet Victim Empowerment Center, Mafikeng Men for Real, Mafikeng Lifeline, Mafikeng Crisis Center is also operating Gobo Pilon Letutuzela Center. In Dr. KK Fendra Stop Renale Banabua Northwest, Makosi Hills Kakala Crisis Center, Kakisano Molopo Siruluhan Center, Mamusa Amelia Center, Moriteli. In Bujanala, we have Tusero Safe House in Severskay, Madibe in Renale Loakola Rona, and then Rustenburg Nalikito Lesedi, Hambohole Rustenburg Puken Trauma Center, Moses Kotani Butabelo Crisis Center, and then Moses Kotani Renale Madikwe Victim Support Center. In the state-run facilities that we have, Renale Kuseleka One Stop Center is a state-run shelter in Naledi local municipality. We also have received a donated safe house in Rustenburg. The total allocation that we have disbursed for this financial premier is 12.9 million. Thank you very much.
Thank you. What I perceive clearly from the participants here, Masiko ba re ga e yo ko taung ga gona sepe ko taung.
Yes, in Taung we have a center called Pudumong. It has its own challenges in terms of operation, but the facilities that are not compliant, we are supporting them. That's why we work the challenges. I have number of them that we are also not funding, but because of the challenges. However, funding is not the support that we are providing within social development. We are also capacitated the NPO. The very same NPO are registered by the Department of Social Development. So another component, different components, is funding, is capacity building, is registration, and also checking compliance. The other thing that we have also started with the national, with the Treasury, Provincial Treasury and Department of Finance. We are also doing road shows to assist them because have a challenge, SARS. A challenge in terms of CSDs, Central Supply Database. So those are the efforts that the department is doing. These are purely the NPO for gender-based violence, but we also have other NPOs for children, older persons, disability, number of them, all those particular programs. Like family care services, we are also funding close to 361 NPOs that we are funding. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Like I said, I'm not going to focus on this speech. I am going to focus on issues that have been raised here. We have decided, as this provincial government, that each department will every month have 2 programs in different areas focusing on gender-based violence. So every department, maybe you have not yet seen them, maybe they have not yet reached you, but this is what we are going to continue doing. We are going to ensure that they go out, they do this. But we have also said we must, in the first instance, look at ourselves as government and as government employees. So we have set up structures in departments to develop awareness campaigns so that there's an awareness program in the department, but also so that if there's an incidence of gender-based violence, it is brought to the attention of the relevant authorities. So we are doing this, let's look at ourselves. What are we doing in terms of gender-based violence as a government department? We have also said we want this to be cascaded down to the districts and to the local municipalities. And so this is a program that we are going to unleash as the year progresses. This must be done in the district. But you know what? I want to say to you, to be dependent, to wait for government to come to you as NGO. I think even before the district starts with its program, you must be there. You must be knocking on their door. Welcome, Executive Mayor Kumalo Molefe. I'm happy you are here. One statement that was made here was in relation to the MECs, that they are absent and participants are not happy that they are not here. So I'm pleased that you are here. But I must tell you, because this is a societal illness, I want to reiterate this point. I hope you can internalize it. I hope you can really internalize it. When I say you can't make beneficiaries of a system the chief fighters of a system, and you can't say you are waiting for someone to deliver freedom of women from exploitation and oppression, to deliver it to women. You can't do. So we need women to organize themselves at their localities. Even the 1956 march, I don't think is the way to go. I think we have to start at our localities. Build awareness there. I think yesterday we were in the Lekotla. One of the resolutions that was sponsored there is that we should start with gender-based awareness programs at primary school. Start with that at primary school. But I hear when you are from the church, I'll be happy if you can start in the church. Start in the church. Because some church practices, they reinforce and they promote it. Even some cultural practices. That's why I get excited. I get some cultural practices promote this scourge. That is why we have to start in our localities. I want to conclude by saying that the phone number the chief complainants. But the shop steward. But le rona re bona gore re diraeng. Ke tla itumela ha re tswa mo, ke tla itumela ke a itse gore ke utlwile gote this summit is preparing for national summit. But I think this summit should also come with some clear targets for us in the province. If it can, I don't know whether we'll have time, so that when we meet next time, we should be referring to some roadmap. We met at 4 seasons. This is what we said should be done. And then we tick and say this done, this not done. I think, I don't know whether, Madam Daniels, whether we can smuggle in that approach in your program. I know you are concerned about preparation for the National Summit, but I'll be happy if, can I keep Matlakala, Lebos Habaka Kupana Lena, Rebona Horitira Yang, or Rebona Horakopi. Amancha Kaloki Batlahori, you may keep it. Etata, gender-based violence in Kitalo Samabani, Kanye Tata politics, Kitalosta Mayor, Mayor, Ebiduan class society, or how only beneficiary, your system, or benefit a more systeming, if you are a part of the middle class in South Africa, you are a premier, you are an MEC, you are a medical doctor, you are a teacher, you are a senior bureaucrat. Do you really appreciate what poverty is? Can you really help us fight poverty? For you to do that, you must commit what is called class suicide. You must totally, in terms of your behavior, in terms of your thinking, totally identify with the poor. For you to really get involved and say, I want to contribute towards eliminating poverty. It is the same thing for men. It is the same thing for men with gender-based violence. They have to re-examine themselves, and this is not something that you do on one day. You know, I was shocked when I read in the past. I can't recall the name, and maybe it's a good thing that I can't. That this person was appearing in newspapers all over, appearing as a champion fighting gender-based violence. But lo and behold, one day we get a report. He was accused of rape. So for you to commit to gender-based violence as a man, what you do today and say, I've done every day when you wake up, you must ask yourself a question. Have I done something that really showed that I'm a bigot, I'm sexist? And say, yes, I know. And be conscious when you interact, the comments you make, even the banter, the jokes you make, do they reflect some some hidden tendencies toward gender? Because sometimes people make these jokes, and even women appreciate them and laugh. Whilst the jokes actually reflect hidden inclination towards undermining people of the opposite sex. So I want to say I'm closing here with my commitment to meet Osma Tlakala. Re bona gore re tsweletsa yang kanye ke kanye thata e batla basadi ba di khatlamela masisi ba ipitse dihuba ba re ra go dira ke lweleletsa gore lo discusse sentle lo tleka go ipakanyetsa summit sentle mme lo tleka tsone dilo tse re tshwantseng re di shebe re le mo provinceng gore di diragale re bone gore re ya ko pele tota la re ka move go tswa ha go tsena ha ke ka itumela mara re mo go go ngwela ga ke itse thata ha re ka bona re movile go tswa ha go tsena ha le ke tla opa mabogo la ke letsa gore re tswe ka khoro mara ka bona re movela go ko pele re bona gore re na le map ha re ba map hale re bona di center tse di kae ha re ba map hale re bona gore mo kgweding ye di awareness program di diregile kae le ra bona ebile ga gona ba bangwe agree e batla balela ba re ga ba itse go direga yalo re be map hale o se masego re be map hale re ba bontse re ka date ye re le kae ka date ye re le kae ka date go direga re tsere di fundile nkitsele di NGO re be map hale re ne transparent Erika pole ba bone gore sele ki sele ke a leboga motsamaisa tiro.
Yo, batho a ke sa tla bua ne mopremiri wa rona Ntate Maape re a leboga re utlwile and ra itumela o Masego re tla bua nna le wena go thoko bagaetsong re ntse le premier go tloga phakela go fitlha yaanong premier o utlwile sello sa rona ebile o kgonne go raraba ka jekule ga re go laraba beketlang se se ra gore ge nke ba khuduthamaga ba rona ba kgona go nna le rona ba utlwa dillo tsa rona nke be re sena bothata because nke ba kgona go araba dillo tsa rona nya le ga le premier o utlwile ha ene ke sa re sepe ne ke re fela ke re premier o utlwile premier ga re Bushy ba gaetsong wa tswa o na le batho ba ba bonang fa ntle fa le ba di radio o tlo boa ga re Bushy o lebetse le phone se ke la wa ra ga re Bushy ke tlo kopa mme Charity Modise a tlo re bolela gore go tloga fa lenaneo la rona le tswella yang ke lebogele gore mme Charity le kgone go invite batho ba e leng gore they mean business ba tlile fa